Jacoby Brenner. 2nd and 10.
For that time inside, Mike Pitts working against Steve Trapillo. Exactly the same move, and it was equally as successful as it was the last time, only this time Trapillo dodged the holding call. This is a front four that plays it the old-fashioned way. Here it is again on the inside. Watch 74 against Trapillo. See, there's that same rip move, and Trapillo's holding on again for dear life. But this is that old-fashioned kind of front four for Philadelphia. In a passing situation, you feel a tenseness in the air.
2nd and 10. They have Hilliard as a wide receiver to the right. A flag goes down. The pass is intended for Perryman. It's well underthrown, and the flag at the outset of the play, and again it will be against New Orleans. And Philadelphia here will have the option of taking the play, an incomplete pass, and making it 3rd down and 10 or 2nd and 20.
Frank, as you well know, and Al, both of you, a defensive line's worth.
Hands, number 65 on the offense. Face.
Well, that's, guess who? Steve Trapillo again. A defensive line's worth isn't measured just in sacks. I mean, look what we've had so far. 2 holding calls already forced upon the Saints offensive line by this just tenacious group of Eagles up front. There's the right hand up on the face mask again of Mike Pitts. And you know, that's just one of those inadvertent things that happens and you find it up there, but well, you got to get it down in a hurry.
Of the 53 Eagles sacks, 39 of them have come from that front four, and that's a remarkable number. Usually you look at a team and you see a Lawrence Taylor, you see an outside linebacker that leads in sacks. Not so here.
2nd and 20, and Dalton Hilliard takes it out to the 43-yard line after he was nearly stopped at the line of scrimmage. It's Byron Evans who makes the tackle. The ball will be spotted at the 43, and it will set up a 3rd down and 16. Dalton Hilliard, tremendous year, both rushing and receiving, and he's thrown 1 pass this season, and it would figure. He completed it for a touchdown.
And the New Orleans Saints, in the situation so many Eagle opponents have found themselves in, and the Eagles with 52 takeaways, and they get a team in a situation like this, and then they just unloose this tremendous pass rush and sit back and pick it off. Either that or they swat it out of the quarterback's hand. They make their own turnover. 3rd down 16, 4-man rush. Fourcade stays in the pocket and then throws it halfway to Bogalusa. Intended for Brett Perriman, and New Orleans will have to punt.
Halfway to where?
Bogalusa.
There's Bobby Hebert on the sidelines, who doing the best he can, but make no doubt about it, not the least bit happy that he's been demoted. A very odd year for Hebert. 15 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, but has been at odds with a lot of his wide receivers and very vocal on the field in the way he addresses them after they might make a mistake. It really hasn't put himself in great light with his teammates.
Tommy Barnhart to kick a good deep kick. Anthony Edwards calls for a fair catch, and why in the world are you going to call for a fair catch on your 6-yard line?
Well, the only reason is you get disoriented. You're not sure exactly where you are.
Because otherwise you figure you're better off letting it bounce, and all of a sudden we've got another flag, and that's going to come back anyway. So they're going to get Edwards off the hook.
This is going to be very difficult for New Orleans to overcome. They're not playing for the playoffs. They're only playing because they want to look good in front of the nation.
Number 27 offense holding. 10 yards, 4th down.
You know, your point earlier, Dan, it's not in effect here because of a special teams play, but Philadelphia creating a lot of penalties for the opposition this season.
There's Antonio Gibson there at the top of your screen, and his man makes an inside move, and he grabs him and brings him down, working against Andre Waters. And I mean, this is going to be tough for New Orleans.
Just to follow up statistically on your point, people think of the Eagles as a rough team, a team that gets penalized a lot. The opposition has been penalized more than the Eagles have this season.
Well, right now it's the Eagles playing smart football.
Barnhart's kick. Crowd is cheering because there's no laundry, and a great open field tackle is made at the 18 by Benny Thompson, who was just activated tonight. 49-yard kick. Tackle made on Edwards.
And that is about as tough a thing to do as you're going to do in this game of football. And as you can see, he's really turned on with it. Benny Thompson just activated today. Tough thing to do. Full stride. and he makes the big play, and the Eagles will start near their 19-yard line. Great play by Thompson.
Score. We have 7 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the first quarter. And Philadelphia begins this possession at its own 18-yard line with Randall Cunningham taking a short drop and then flipping one out into the flat to the tight end Keith Jackson, who gets dragged down by Ricky Jackson. And as far as the Saints are concerned, we mentioned they are #1 in rush defense. And you'll take a look here at the fact that New Orleans, in their last 11 games, has limited the opposition to under 100 yards. One shy of the record, the Rams with the fearsome foursome back in 1967, the Boston Patriots before they moved to Foxborough in '66, and the Chicago Bears among those with 10 or more games. So the Saints trying to write their name alongside the Rams tonight as Anthony Toney gets stopped for no gain. And if they keep that up, it will be a 12th consecutive game.
And a moment ago, Keith Jackson, the Pro Bowl tight end for the Eagles, who has been hurt on and off all season, who came close to the first down a few moments ago, limped off the field. He's had knee problems, he's had back troubles, he's had an ankle problem, and he is now left, and they are working on him on the sidelines. They thought he was back to the top form. He caught 81 passes a year ago, and he caught 12 earlier in the season. Now he looks like he's ready to go, but you can see he's limping noticeably there.
3rd and 1 as they come up in a tight formation. And diving for a first down is Keith Myers, going over the top and taking it out to the 30. So a first down. Here comes Jackson back, and you can see that black stripe, that black tape across the Eagles' wings. And everybody, of course, mourning the loss of Doug Scoville, the Eagles' quarterback coach. The armbands worn by members of the coaching staff there. Doug Scoville, at the age of 62, dying of a heart attack a week ago Saturday. Ed Hughes, longtime assistant with the Bears, coming over to take Scoville's spot for the rest of the season.
And he worked with Scoville when they were both with the 49ers under Dick Nolan a few years ago.
A fake reverse on first down, and getting nowhere is Anthony Toney as Sam Mills comes in to break up the play for a 4-yard loss.
Boy, in its inception, that play looked like it was going to work. It looked wide open, and Sam Mills really doing a fine job of reading it all the way from the inside. But what hurt was the contain, and now it's the officiating crew's turn to flag one on Philadelphia. Look at Pat Swilling, the way he's fighting off Keith Jackson, staying to the outside. Boy, and his forcing Toney back to the inside is what made that play happen.
On the offense, illegal block. They declined the penalty. It's 2nd down.
And they decline it because it means the play counts, and
well, we saw
2nd down instead of 1st.
Yeah, we saw it right there. It's Jackson working against Swilling.
Just gave him a shove to the outside. You'll see it right here. Now he just gives him a push to the outside right in front of the official. That ought to get your flag.
It's obvious, though, in watching the blocking technique, though, used by Keith Jackson. He's hurting. I mean, he's really not able to drive off that leg, at least not now.
2nd and 14 from the 26-yard line. Cunningham has to dart away again. And Randall has it stripped. Loose ball at the 36-yard line, and the Saints recover. Brett Maxey recovered, and Ricky Jackson was the man who stripped it.
Well, we are back to that last play where Pat Swilling forced to reverse back to the inside. This time it's Pat Swilling and his pressure coming from the outside that forces Randall Cunningham to take off in the opposite direction.
Jackson, a 9-year veteran, still has the speed. He catches up with Cunningham when he tries to break it back to the inside.
There's Swilling coming from the left. He forces Randall out of the pocket. And there is Ricky Jackson, as we have been seeing all year long, starting in our opening game with Lawrence Taylor, that tomahawk move. Here comes Swilling, beats Keith Jackson. Then he gets by Ken Reeves, sends Cunningham out of there. But watch the hatchet. Whack, right there, knocks the ball out. Big-time play by Ricky Jackson, but he's been doing that for a long time.
Cunningham fumbling twice in the first quarter, losing one from the 35-yard line. Hilliard getting outside and bumped out of bounds after a 4-yard pickup. Izell Jenkins up from the corner to make the play after a gain of about 4. Buford Jordan leading the way with a block. We have 5:06 to play in a scoreless opening period. For Cade, Went to Mississippi. He's played in the Canadian League. He's played in the USFL, arena football, and were it not for the strike in '87, he'd probably be coaching